He's probably got some people still alive that don't watch our show. Until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Trademark.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Don't worry, it's water in this glass.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kevin McLaughlin, and this is
Paul Robertson, and this is the Riffs
and Rhythms podcast. What the hell's going on, Paul?
I don't know. There's some weirdness in this. Not good weirdness. Happy weirdness.
We were just talking about who wants to hear about something happy or
nobody
sad.
wants to hear sad stuff.
Sad. People love to commiserate, though.
I know.
90% of the world can't wait to tell you about all the bad stuff that's going on.
That's why they say misery loves company.
It does.
And that's why
does.
we're together.
Yes.
Not in that kind of way.
How
Not in that
together
kind
are you?
Yeah,
of platonic kind of way.
Yeah, he might be a little bit more together than me.
Yeah. He got nervous because I was sharing a story before we started taping here about some things, and
Yeah.
he got a little nervous.
Going down the wrong path there, young man.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
it's been a lot going on since we last were here in the studio. Well, it's been actually a couple of weeks since we've been in this particular studio.
really?
So we definitely want to give a thanks to, we had a little scheduling thing happen. We got a chance to tape at the legendary J&C Studios.
We had to go Devonless.
Yep. So we did a live stream there, was episode, and then after that, Johnny came back.
Women all over the world have been complaining about going Devonless for way too long.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's a trend.
Who started that rumor?
It's hashtag going Devonless with a sad face.
But we're definitely, we're back here in our studio here. We're back with Devin. And
Devin, the ghost on the ox.
That's right.
I'm here.
That voice you hear and you never
And I'm
see
going
him.
to take this moment to hijack the show to promote Open Jam that I have, a new one.
Oh,
We're no longer at Dirty South. We're at Kava Me Crazy.
Okay.
All right.
What
Follow
kind of
Ghost on the Ox on Instagram for the information.
So what kind of jam is it? It's
Instrumental, improvisation, or planned. You know, it's kind of really anything as long as it's original performance based.
Pre-planned improvisation.
When I said pre-planned, I mean like you can do covers and stuff, but really it's intended to be for original stuff and jams, things like that.
Cool. And where is this Kava Me Crazy you
This
speak
is
of?
in good old Jensen Beach.
Okay. It's a big place. Fill me in.
Well, people have the internet; they can look it up.
Well, we're not going to spoon feed it to them. That's right. Look it up, dang
You
it.
guys can do a little work.
And we've also got...
Follow Ghost on the Ox on Instagram. They can find the address there.
Yes, do that.
I like how he got to plug all his stuff before we even actually got the chance to plug our
Well,
own
he
things.
hijacked
Thank you for
the show.
listening, watching, and
Yes.
hit the like and subscribe button. There you go. Let's move
Ghosting
on.
on
There
the
you go.
ox.
So yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
people didn't get to hear me last week, so
Oh, you got a lot to say.
yeah.
All right. Well. All right. Now shut up.
All right, yeah. Well,
All right. Would you like to introduce our guest?
I would love to introduce our
Okay.
guest. We have a guest. This is someone that I have known for a millennia. I met this gentleman. He and I were on competing bands in the Battle of the Bands at my high school.
Whoa.
And his band was way better than mine, but somehow mine won. I'm not sure what happened there.
So he remembers the luscious locks.
He's been secretly holding it against me all this time. I know it.
No, I think you've aged very well. I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, no, man. So I am honored to be able to introduce Denny Artachi as our guest tonight. So, Denny, how are you, man?
I'm great, man. It's good to be here with so many serious people in the room here.
So, Denny has had a very long and interesting career, a very interesting life, super cool guy, very successful gentleman, and he's got all kind of stuff going on. And can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
So we're going to meander around non-specific hilarity and eventually talk about something.
I want to, now that I don't know Denny as well. I only kind of recently, met your acquaintance, I guess the word is. And
You met his acquaintance,
yes,
his friend, and you made his acquaintance as well.
I met everybody, I guess.
Wait, I have a friend and an acquaintance?
Yeah.
Well, where are they?
Well, I thought you just was that not him?
Well, for sure.
So I can't wait to hear the high school stories. The old
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
back then we were young, dumb, and now we're neither of those things, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
And back then, that was the thing you did. You got into a high school band because, chicks like guitars and singing and rock and roll. So we didn't do it to be famous. We did it to like, wow, this is cool, and they're like paying attention to us. So we did it. And look at that. We still haven't learned any better, Kevin. We're still doing the same thing, right?
Yes, jumping up and down like monkeys on a frying pan, trying to get people's attention.
All kidding aside, music is obviously a gift from God. Whenever you can really get to a certain level and express yourself, I still play. I mean, I was in some famous bands years ago, and that and $5 will get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But I enjoyed touring and doing it, and I still play for fun. That's why I still do it. I no longer have aspirations that I'm going to make a living with music, but I will always play music because I love to, entertain and play and sing.
Yeah, so you've, talking about touring, am I correct in remembering that it was Iron Butterfly? You sang for Iron Butterfly?
Yes, I was the lead singer, lead guitar player for Iron Butterfly in let's say 93, 94. And I was best friends with the guys from Three Dog Night. So I recorded at American Recording. And I mean, geez, what happened was I was playing in Florida and Mike Panera saw me playing, what is it called now? Silhouettes or something, that place in Stewart?
No idea what you're talking
The
about.
Brass A Saloon.
The Brass A Saloon. So I had a really good band back then, and Mike Panera was in town, and he heard me play, and he said, "Dude, you're really good." And I'm like, "Well, who's Mike Panera?" Then I found out Ride Captain Ride, Alice Cooper's guitar player. He was an Iron Butterfly. So he says, "Man, if you come to L.A., I'm going to get you work. I promise you." I said, "Okay." So I did. I literally loaded up the van, as they say, drove I-10 all the way there. Had no job or anything waiting for me. So when I get there, I look Mike up, and he got me a job at the Guitar Center. And the funniest thing was he takes me to, now this is how naive I was, right? I love rock and roll, Zeppelin, Hendrix. Really didn't know who Iron Butterfly was. Sure, I heard the song, but I, wouldn't even recognize him. So he takes me over to the rehearsal. They're getting ready to go on a show. And Mike he just put together a band called Classic Rock All-Stars with Peter Rivera from Rare Earth, Jerry Corbett of Sugarloaf, Dennis Noda. And he introduces me to the band, and he goes, "Hey, guys," Mike had a real smooth voice. "I can't really do this gig because, I've got this band." And, "Mike, are you kidding? You're screwing it." "But wait a minute, guys. I got my friend here. Man, you got to hear this guy play the guitar and sing. He's really awesome." And they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" So I plug in the guitar and I audition, and I got the gig on the spot with Iron Butterfly.
Damn.
And I'm like, I had no idea what I was getting into, honestly, because this is how naive I was. I didn't really know who they were. I knew they had a song, but so I got in a band and I played, and it was great. But I got to tell you, man, I was so broke. We didn't play that much, We'd go out, be cool for a few weeks, then come back, nothing. I had to get a job. And so then Mike also introduced me to Joe Shermy. Now, when I'm in L.A., I'm playing, remember that club where River Phoenix killed them?
The Viper Room.
The Viper Room. I used to jam there. I'd go to the Rainbow Room because Joe Shermy from Three Dog Night, he knew everybody. He would introduce me. We'd eat for free. Here I am, this long-haired, just a player and stuff, and I'm playing with all these guys. I mean, I was even Mickey Dolenz' guitar player for a while. I played with Dennis Yost from the Classics 4, and I shared a stage with a lot of iconic guys. And again, that and $5 will get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? But the reality was, and I'm mentioning the story because I got into what I do now. When I hit bottom was when I couldn't pay my rent. And one night, I'll never forget, I'm hanging out with Jimmy Page, and he's the reason why I started playing guitar. And he liked the fact that I was with Butterfly. We had a good time. He autographed the guitar. Well, I had to sell that damn guitar because I couldn't pay my rent. And Butterfly, and I was working at the Guitar Center. They say, hey, we got a tour that comes up, because it was sporadic. You know, I love playing with the band. Of course, I felt like I was a rock star. And it was so funny because I'd go to places and they'd want me to sign the albums. I go, you know, I'm not the original guy. I don't care, just sign it. Well, the last time they had a show going to Hawaii, and I was so broke, and they said, hey, we got to go. You got 2 days to get ready. And I tell Guitar Center this, and they go, hey, dude, it's December, and it's peak season. You're our top salesman. I was the top salesman in the country. If you leave, you don't have a job when you come back. Now, you would think that a guitar shop would say, wow, we've got Iron Butterfly's lead singer, lead guitar player working at Guitar Center. No. If you go, you don't have a job. So I was so broke that I had to turn down, and that's what made me, the band got mad at me, and I was out of the band after that. Now, the good news is I did stay in touch with Ron Bushy, the drummer, and he was always so kind and said, look, dude, you were like the best guitar player singer we had, and I love what you did. And we almost got back together. In fact, there's a long story that I don't know if I want to get into it because I don't want the proper attorneys to be listening to this, but there was a time where I actually purchased ownership in Butterfly, but when the shit hit the fan, I got a hold of Nancy, his widow, because Ron had died at this time, and somebody had gotten the rights to it, and you know, I walked away and I lost money, and that was okay. But to play there was great, but I got into investments because I got tired of being a broke ass, eating Jack in the Box cheeseburgers, sleeping on couches, musical rock star. That's just it. I said, and you know, the guys from Three Dog Night were really upset with me. Joe Shermy said, you're selling out. That's not cool. And I said, Joe, I love you, dude, but I don't want to be you. You've got platinum records and you're sleeping on my couch. So one day, you ever see the movie Boiler Room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This guy shows up in a Ferrari. Kid you not, Italian guy comes in. I'm working at the Guitar Center, and I sell him like a $30,000 guitar. And he says, kid, if you can close me, you need to work for me. And I go, yeah, Italian, right? Mafia, right? Who do I have to kill? And he says, no. Investment banking. And I said, what the hell's that? You know, company stocks.
Yeah, so who do I have to kill?
Right, exactly. So I was like, dude, I don't know shit about that. I just know how to close. That's all you need to know. So I cut my hair and got into the business and never looked back. Now, that place that I was at, I didn't last that long because they were just buying shady stuff for people. And this guy, think about this with inflation. Back then in 93, 94, this guy was making $5 million a year. Okay? He had a Beverly Hills house. I became like his boy, not in the South Beach sense like you guys were talking.
Whoa, what do you mean? You guys.
So what's in the L.A. sense? of being someone's boy?
He would give me, he'd give me keys, and we'd go to these famous locker rooms where De Niro was there and everything. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Lots of money, girls.
So
and all
he gave
that
you
stuff.
And there's money waiting for you in the locker room, and actors are in there?
Something like that.
Okay.
Listen, this guy was making so much money that I'd go to his house because, he'd send me to do things for him. And I said, Robert, there's a $500,000 check in your drawer. Oh, man, I forgot it. Hey, can you take that to the bank and deposit it for me? So this is like the life this guy was leading, right? So that drew me. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me think. Broke-ass rock musician or rich-ass Gordon Gekko? I can always buy guitars, right? But he was really involved with some shit. He eventually died of a massive heart attack because he just was living and dying by the sword. But I made that switch, and I still play. I love it. But L.A. was interesting, man. I hung out with lots of people. I'll never forget that Les Paul was at it was a blues room right there on Sunset. I forget what they used to call it. and everyone was there. Steve Vai, Slash, and it was so funny because I had long, kinky hair, so I kind of looked like Slash, and we're talking and everything, and he had one of these models saying, hey, get away. He's Slash. He doesn't need to talk. And he was like, yo, chill out, bitch. I kind of like this guy. And I'm like, wow, how cool. Slash just told this supermodel to go F off because he wants to talk to me. But I'm still broke.
Wait, this is Slash without the hair, the hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right. But I'm saying
Yeah.
in LA at that time, I lived there from the early 90s to the late 90s. So,
Oh,
man,
wow.
I witnessed everything, the earthquake, the OJ trial, the mudslide, the Rodney King beating. I'll never forget, while this was happening, I called, listen how funny this is. I called 911 because I'm watching Reginald Denny getting beat up. And they said, sir, this is for emergency only. I go, well, there's a guy getting killed. You're not coming? Sir, if you don't hang up, we're going to come arrest you. And I said, there's a guy getting killed on TV. You're not doing it. And they hung up. So I witnessed all of those things, the earthquake, the OJ trial, the Rodney King beating, the mudslides, the fires, and all the musicians back then. It would be nothing that you would go to a supermarket or something, and there they were. The actors, the music. It was like no big deal, right? So it was kind of cool. But then again, being broke wasn't cool. So that's where I made that switch.
So you were there when the switch happened, where one day everyone was wearing spandex and Aquanet, and then the next day everybody was wearing flannel.
Kind of, sort of. I guess it depends on what kind of habits they had. Because, man, it was the OK Corral out in L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, people were doing everything still in the 90s. I mean, even like I couldn't believe people were smoking heroin. They called it the Dragon or something. And they go, you want some? I go, no. What are you, nuts? They would put it in tinfoil and smoke it. So a lot of the musicians, they were junkies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, no joke.
Wow.
So I looked at that and said, well, gee, if that's kind of like the life that it's about, maybe I should learn another trade and play guitar when I
Drug
can.
trade.
The drug trade, exactly. And, there's some things that happened that I don't want to say on the air, but let me just say that I was a good-looking guy back then, and getting a date was really not that difficult. So I have some stories that I won't say on the air.
Well, thanks for that letdown.
I'm
Set
sorry.
us all up for something cool. I'm not going to tell you,
Banger
but it was
teaser.
great.
Yeah.
Well,
Banger teaser just to get blue ball.
all right, I will say one thing, okay?
Ambler
The
Pamberson.
first day I was in Los Angeles, very first day I'm in Los Angeles, I had to go to the Whiskey A Go-Go because, that's
Of course, iconic.
the most famous, right? So I go in there. First day I drove in, and I meet the waitress, and she goes, hey, how you doing? I go, oh, great, man. Wow, I can't believe this. She goes, oh, you never been here? I said, this is my first night literally in L.A. So she looked at me, and it was a rock and roll story, dude.
Fresh meat.
Yes. Took me out to the parking lot and christened me, welcome to L.A.
Well, good morning.
So I'm like, you gotta be effing kidding me. I mean, I love this city. I just been here for like 3 hours.
Wasn't there a whole song, I Love LA? Did you write that?
I think I should have. But what I'm saying is it had that kind of element, but then there was the other side of Los Angeles, especially when I got into the financial side, Century City. The wealth there is crazy. And how many cities that you can literally go from millionaire to panhandler, right?
Skid Row.
Right. And I'll tell you, the panhandlers, those people were making 60, 70 grand a year. They knew right where to go. Beverly Hills, baby. So these people felt, they give them a C note or whatever. And I talked to a few of them, and they actually made a really good living.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when the story came out where somebody was doing an expose on those guys. And they followed this one dude with his cardboard sign by the on-ramp
Exactly.
at where the light is, where everybody has to
Exactly.
stop. And he went over the hill and got into his Lambo and drove home to Beverly
Exactly.
Hills.
I'm telling you, they would cover their car. I've witnessed it personally. So LA is, man, that's, there's got some great sites. Of course, I love Florida. This is where I want to stay, and I've done a lot of things. I'm a veteran. I served overseas. I love that.
I forgot
Thank
that
you for your
about
service.
And
Yes, thank you for your service.
no, I love my country. I don't necessarily love politicians, but I definitely love the ideology of a free country and where the only limits we have are what we impose on ourselves. So, but Florida's great. A lot of good music in Florida. And what else did you want to ask me? I didn't do it. She didn't tell me she was married. No, it wasn't me.
You've rehearsed those lines.
Dude,
Allegedly.
these guys are like speechless right here. They're usually like busting stones. aren't
No,
they?
I know. We're listening to the stories here, and it's kind of crazy.
So this is what it's like for me. Like you've seen the first Terminator, right? When he's
Yes.
carving out his eye, and the landlord is like, "There's fucking dead cats in there. What the hell's wrong with you?" And there's a list of responses comes up, and he zeroes in on the "fuck you, asshole." That's literally what's going on in my head right now. Oh, that's way too extreme. Oh, that's too nice. Like there's something in there. Oh, I
what
know.
do I say?
Well, you know, the thing is, there's so many serious things and bad things going on in life. We have to take it humorously and be light about it. Because honestly, what the hell can we do to change this crazy world? Not a damn thing, right?
Wow, that is an entire podcast in itself.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I tune out. I don't really watch the news.
Well, I have an answer for that, and you have already done it. You alluded to your authorship and your speaking career,
Yes.
and that you have transformed yourself.
I have.
That is the definition of improving the world: is fix what's in here. If everybody does that, the world's going to erase its own problems.
Exactly. This is funny. I never thought I would say this, guys, but I am absolutely the happiest I've ever been in my life.
I would agree with you.
And you've known me for years.
Yeah.
I haven't always been the cheerful, jovial type of guy. But what happened with me, and I wrote 3 books about it, and so I'm building my financial estate planning business, but my speaking business, especially now because people are so tweaked out and stressed over what the hell's going on. And I try and tell them, listen, don't watch the news. There's nothing good there. If the world's coming to an end, you'll see it. It'll be coming from the sky, or you'll see people run. What are you doing? Well, the world's coming to an end, and we're running over here for cover.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Miller time. No.
Exactly. Exactly. People, I gave up the news a long time ago, and this has to be 10 years ago. I did this. I was on
No kidding? It's been that long that you don't even watch it at all?
I was out on a business call, and I stopped to have lunch at a bar on 192 and A1A there. And the CNN was on in front of the bar. Sat down, had a beer, and eating lunch. And when I walked into that room, the world was a wonderful place. Half hour later, after watching everybody die, someone's daughter was mutilated, this and that is going on. Like, I walked out of there incredibly depressed.
Because you can only desensitize yourself so much, right?
So, yeah, I mean, we were in England, and everybody was beating us up. They wanted to talk politics and all these crazy things that they're asking. And I said, I'll tell you this: you hear American media, it doesn't matter if you agree with it or if you disagree with it. It's a lie.
So they really want it. Like, you're visiting a country, and they asked you, "What do you think
They
about?"
want
the
to know
political
about
thing?
what's it like to have some weird guy with a toupee trying to become a king.
Or you're speaking recently of what's
So
happened.
it was a
Okay.
year ago.
Well, I avoid political and religious discussions because the thing is, people are not open to truth. They just follow their favorite talking head. And the thing is, people need to question everything, right? What we read, what we see.
Why?
Because, first of all, I'm smart enough to know that I know nothing, right? The only perception I have is something that I've read or something that I've seen. But is that really what's going on, or is it my program reaction? You know the 3-side story?
Yeah.
This side, that side, and then what's actually happening. So in my transformation, and believe me, I've removed all toxic things from my life. I no longer drink.
You're not totally there
don't-
because you're here.
What's that?
So you're not totally successful because you've submitted to being here.
I love being here with you guys and I love sharing this because this is like truth, and more people need to live like this because there's so much we can't control. The only thing we can control, there's three things: our breath, our thoughts, and whether or not we're going to respond to something. So think about that. Everything else is out of our control, isn't it? What people think about us, how they react to us, whether we succeed or not. It's out of our control.
I think that's the biggest misconception on the planet, is that people actually have the effect that they think they're having.
Right. So when you know that you know nothing, right, you're always open and you're curious, because that's living aligned and intentional, right? Hey, you know what? What I wanted to happen didn't happen. So maybe something better will come along if I'm open to it, if I'm positive to it. So what I did is I stopped. And again, I don't care if people drink. It's the most toxic substance, but have another shot. You're doing good. It doesn't bother me. But for me, I'm telling you what worked for me. I lost like 27 pounds. I don't smoke cannabis anymore. I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I don't let too much bother me anymore because it's out of my control, right? I used to let a lot of things bother me. I used to have to correct people, and yeah, that really works a lot, doesn't it?
People love it when you tell them what to do.
Absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
man, thank you for straightening me out and telling me I'm a loser. Thank you, sir. Here, take my wife. Here's my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work. So we have to work on ourselves, the inside, not
Wife
the
first,
outside.
then wallet.
Wife first, right? What's the better? Take the wallet
Take my
first,
wife,
right?
please.
Maybe reverse the order.
Yeah. Where's it Benny
I
Hung-
once met a
Young-
millionaire that said, "Hey, being rich is having $50 more than my wife can spend." So, and this guy was worth millions and millions of dollars. But I think more people need to talk about that. And Kevin, you said something very wise. The differences in debates has gone out the window, right?
Yeah.
Where did it come from that I have to hate someone because they have a different opinion of me?
I have no idea. That's the
Like,
smallest thing ever.
What is that about, right? I want to learn something every
It's-
day.
It's only gotten worse.
My take on this is that people have made their opinions their identity, and when you attack their opinions, they take it as attacking them.
Exactly.
That's well
right.
put.
Because they're afraid to be wrong. Well, I'm wrong so often, I'm kind of digging it.
They invest so much of their energy into their view of things that to discredit it makes them, feel like what they're doing was a waste of time or whatever.
Yeah, they hate to be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being wrong because then I just learned something, right? And again, I was a hot mess for many years. I was successful. On paper, I was great. I had these businesses going, but I was drinking too much. I was smoking too much. I was letting things bother me. Didn't stay focused. And then one day, the epiphany hit and go, dude, this isn't working for you. So why don't you change, and whatever's not working, just remove it from your life. So that started the premise of my first book. Does it serve your higher self? Then the second book was The Power of Calm. And the third, How to Be Happy. It was really one big book, but I broke it down into 3 different books and styles. And I've been speaking on it to help stressed out, employees, because everyone tells you, the lie they tell you is you've got to push to get ahead in life, right? But I think the opposite is true. Calm is the real superpower. When you can calm your nervous system, you can deal with an irate. You want to talk about a funny music story? When I was doing this transition, you're going to love this, Kevin, because I kind of had a short fuse from time to time, right? So I'm playing on stage, and I'm doing Still Got the Blues by Gary Moore, one of my favorite songs. I'm doing a solo. This drunk comes up in my face. Hey, man, you know any Phil Collins? And I'm playing. I look at him. I turn to the side. No, I don't. I turn, hoping he'll get the message. He walks around back to me and goes, "What about In the Air Tonight?" So I look at the band and I stop. What? Whole place is quiet. Now, the old me would have been like, you're really being a pain in the ass. You want the left or the right? What bait and tackle shop do you work at, right? I looked at him and I said, exactly. The room was quiet and I go, "Hi, sir. How you doing? Good? Yeah. I don't know any Phil Collins music, but if I'm speaking just like this. But I promise you, if I did, bro, I would play it for you." Now I'm going to go back and finish this song, okay? Whole place started cheering. Yeah! He went back and went, God damn, he sits in the bar. So I've been documenting this journey because, listen, here's the deal. If we laugh more at shit, it's going to make life better, right? If
No
we don't,
question.
If
Life's
we
way
don't
too short.
personalize it anymore, if we don't care about whether we look like a fool, right? Because I've been a fool many times. I've got the T-shirt. I have a few plaques at home. But it's not where you have been in life. It's where you are right now and where you're going, right?
No question.
And show me a person who hasn't failed or been a fool, and I'll tell you it's a person that's never tried anything in life.
Precisely. Failing forward is the only way to succeed.
Yeah, well, I would fail backwards from too much bourbon sometimes.
So Denny, when you hit that moment that you had to change, was there something else that was it just a cold turkey thing, or was there something else?
It was a cold turkey. Now, I'm not an alcoholic, but I've played one in life many times. Meaning, the biggest problem is binge drinking, right? And this is I write about this in my book, and I'm trying to educate people that it's actually more dangerous being a binge drinker than an alcoholic. Because what happens is you go out for the weekend and you ingest 6, 7, 8 drinks in like a couple hours. And your liver's like, bye-bye. It can only really take 1 drink per hour. So what happened with me was I wasn't liking how my relationships were going, my business, lots of things. I was looking for reasons to, and on paper I was successful. Believe me, last year was my best year in the business. So what the hell do I have to complain about, right? There's people dying of cancer, all kinds of things. But I still wanted more and more and more, and I was drinking too much. And so on a Sunday, I'm watching football, and I'm drinking Tito's and cranberry all day. I didn't get drunk, but it was kind of stupid because I didn't really sleep well. Well, the next day, I meet up with a friend of mine who is a personal growth trainer. He has like high-end clients, and we've known each other since high school. And he says, hey, man, what's going on? You're not looking your regular self. I go, yeah, John, it's just messed up. I'm not happy about a lot of shit. And you wouldn't know. And he goes, really? Well, what? So then I started talking to him about it. And he just smiled and he said, hey, I was going to invite you to this thing, but you're not ready. And let's talk some more. Well, he said something to me that really hit home. He said, listen, man, I know you. You could still have the best life. You're in good shape. You're a good-looking guy. You're successful. What are you doing? So I left that meeting and I went, screw this. He doesn't know my problems. What the heck? But then I sat there and went, wait a minute. He's friggin' right. What am I doing, right? So then I started reading going, all right, first of all, I got to stop this drinking. Again, you don't have to be an alcoholic for it to affect you negatively. I like to go to the gym at 5:36 in the morning. And if I tie one on the night before, I ain't doing it, right? So I gave up. The problem with me, it's not really a problem, but whenever I do something, I jump in head first. I don't stick my toe in the water. That's why I'm an aggressive guitar player, right? I'm not trying to be smooth and, hi. I'm like trying to rip it a new you-know-what. So I gave up everything, and my motivation was, I want to stop the nonsense, and I want a better life. I want to lose this weight finally. I want to calm my nervous system. So I researched it. And what did I find? Alcohol, cannabis, eating shitty food is going to get in the way of optimal health. And the reason why is you never give your nervous system a chance to set and settle. If you're always binge drinking, eating shitty food, late at night, not exercising, getting angry over everything, guess what? You'll be a great senator or a congressman. No, just kidding.
Probably.
And name calling. How dare you not agree with me? I'm going to kill you. No. So what I did is, I know when I did that, because again, I just gave it all up. So the first few days were kind of weird. My body's like, yo, is this really what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, it is what I want to do. But then I noticed that I was feeling calmer, right? It was harder to agitate me. which is kind of cool, right? Who doesn't want to be in that state where it doesn't matter what someone says to you, you handle it with grace and it's almost laughable, right? So then I started noticing that and I started documenting. That's where the books came in. All of a sudden, my partners and coworkers started learning, hey, what's going on, man? You're like, yeah, well, I told them what I was doing. They're like, oh, okay. So I had a few wholesalers that I ripped them a few new ones when they would blow a deal for me and screw something up, right? So I started speaking to them in this change, and they're like, dude, I don't know where Denny Artachi is, but it's nice to meet you. And so I knew I was on to something, but I kept it going, and it just kept getting better and better, and I kept documenting everything. And all I'm saying is everybody can do this. There's nothing special about me. I'm not a superhero or a superhuman being or nothing. All I did is I decided the first title of my book, does it serve my higher self? That meant everything. Hey, that drink you want to have, is it going to help you lose weight? Nope, don't do it. Hey, man, those chicken wings and fries, you think that's going to help you? Yep, don't do it. Hey, man, that cannabis, are you starring in a new Cheech and Chong movie? No. All right, don't do it. Hey, man, that person you want to rip and throw against the wall, is that really going to help you? No, don't do it. So then what happened was a couple weeks go by, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. This is kind of easy. This doesn't feel like I'm working, right? So then I'd go out, and people are like, hey, you're not drinking? Why not? Because I don't feel like it. I feel pretty good. So it's 4 months. It's almost 4 months, yeah. So in that 4 months.
From today or from when you're telling this story?
Like December 1st was my launch date.
Oh, wow.
So whatever
Okay. So
today's
this is
date
like now. You're talking
Yeah.
about right now.
Yeah,
Right now, yes. December 1st, I made this transition. Now, remember, I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't drink every day, right? I still worked out and everything, but I just gave up a lot of things because I wanted the best life that I could possibly have, you see? And everything worthwhile in life takes discipline. I don't give a shit. People sell, hey, just take this pill and you'll be fine. Hey, just do this and quick and easy. That's not how life is. Anything worthwhile takes intention, discipline, and loving yourself enough to want to do what you have to do to get the results. So let me tell you what's happened. My business has blown up exponentially. I think musically, I'm a much better musician. The books and the speaking I want to nationally talk to people about this and share this. That's why I'm doing more podcasts, and you'll see the shorts that I'm putting on all the social medias, because I want to share this in a world. I want to be a calm influence in this chaotic world. Because Kevin, come on, man. You've known me for years. You've never seen me like this, right?
No.
Right?
Nope.
So it doesn't matter where I've been. It matters where I am.
And that's a fact.
And I want to share that love with other people.
If you hadn't been there, being here now wouldn't count.
Probably not. And I had such a great time with us playing together with musicians, that we did at Memorial Park. That's how you know what it is, guys and gals? I live like a cancer survivor right now. And what I mean by that is every day really matters to me, because I don't know if I'm going to be dead tomorrow or next week or next month or next year.
Yeah, that's constant.
And that's a damn fact. That's not being morbid, that's a fact.
Yeah.
And if that's true, what am I doing wasting time getting steamed over nonsensical conversations? What am I doing? Now, I know your podcast is probably more fun than what we're doing, but
Yeah, but it's way more fun to be calm and
Absolutely.
happy than to be, throwing up yourself off the handle every 5 minutes.
calm is truly a superpower, but you have to work at it and want to do it. It's kind of like losing weight is intentional. And again, I'm about 27 pounds lighter in this journey, and I want to lose about another 10, I think.
Yeah, I truly believe, and this is from my own experience, that people just don't take the time to take inventory of themselves
That's right.
and decide what they're doing with themselves.
Exactly.
And it's worth the time.
And they're also really influenced by external factors. That's the problem, you see. Happiness is an inside job. I know this sounds cliche.
That is great. I'm stealing that.
No, but it's the damn truth. People say, well, when I get that promotion, I'll be happy. Oh, when I make this much money, I'll be happy.
That is
When I
false.
lose this weight, I'll be,
That
when
is
I
false.
get that new guitar, I'll be. No, you can be happy for the reason of being happy. You see, and then when you do that, the rest happens. I can tell you right now, everything has improved. My relationship with my mother, much better. Much better. My relationship with everyone, much better. They didn't change, guys. I changed. I changed. I stopped taking myself too freaking seriously, okay? Now, the mirror helps me every day. I'm like, but if we don't take ourselves too seriously and we work on ourselves, we'll start finding humor in everything, and people won't get under our skin like they used to, and things that don't matter won't matter anymore, if that makes any sense.
It makes
It's-
complete sense.
That's the hardest thing is, right, depending on the personality or where you mentally are at to be in control of your own things, right? Circle of influence. Within, like you mentioned earlier, was the closest you can control. Then as you go out from there, you can't do nothing about it. Politics, what are we going to do about it in this room? Nothing.
That's
what's
not
the
a damn thing.
No, that is incorrect, and that's an entirely different conversation. We're not going there.
Can we do something about politics?
Okay. Can we take one paragraph?
Sure.
And it's going to be just me telling you what I think, and then we're going to go away.
All right, sure.
So when you take a bunch of opportunistic politicians and you send them to go do a job and you never tell them what you want them to do, what do you believe is going to happen? So everyone already knows the question because here we are. How about this? The reason why government is completely non-functional is partly my fault because I have only once called my representatives and senators and told them what I want them to do. Only once. Who, watching, has called your government and told them what they want to do? It's like getting a German shepherd, feeding them amphetamines, and sticking them in a rabbit farm and expecting them to sit still. Like, this is not going to happen.
Did you go vote last week? Did you
Well,
go
no,
vote
the
last
vote is actually today. At least it is in Palm Beach. Here's the thing. I would like to believe there are good politicians out there because if we don't think that, then we're thinking in absolutes, right? And that's not cool. That's like saying every immigrant, is stealing from us and killing people.
Yeah.
But man,
Oversimplification.
Exactly. But man, when you see the vast majority of them failing and serving the people, it tends to get your blood pressure up. And by the way, the other reason I did what I've done, my blood pressure is the best it's ever been. I was at one time on 3 blood pressure medications.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Guess what I'm on now?
0.
0, right? And sleeping better. See, to me, peace and calmness is the greatest gift and it's the richest thing that you will ever possess. And money can't buy it. Because I know plenty of rich people that are a hot mess.
Now, if you don't fix yourself, being rich just gives you the same problems with extra zeros.
Pretty much. So again, they're looking for external things for their happiness. It's not people, it's not situations, it's being aligned. And for me, I'm not saying everyone does this because I don't want you to be nuts like I am, okay? But when you remove toxicity, foods, the toxins, chemicals, drugs, thinking, your body has no choice but to align itself where you're going to be calmer and feel. Because think about this. When you feel good, can you handle things much better?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So why wouldn't your goal be to, hey, I want to feel good every day, right? Isn't that a good goal to have?
Yeah, no question.
Hey, let me take care of my body and mind, and guess what? I'll be able to deal with anything. That means, I will say this, life hasn't gotten easier for me. Quite the contrary. My mom's dementia has kicked in for the worse. There's a lot of things that have happened, including a couple of relationships that I don't want to talk about, have soured, but it haven't changed me. I'm not bitter over it, you see. And I think that's really important. So for me, it's making music better too. I mean, I really we should do more shows like we did on Saturday. I really think we should find more venues because there was a lot of talent on that stage, brother.
And we all got along. There was no
great
drama. There was problems, and we all just worked them all out.
Absolutely.
With no conflict. Everything was wonderful.
And
like
the
a big
crowd
family.
loved it. They sensed like, hey, look at these musicians. They're enjoying what they're doing, and no one has a scowl on their face.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe Terra Firmata would. I left Eric a message because I think that would be a good show there. The same lineup.
Same lineup, yeah.
Like Cedric, I always joke with him, dude, you really got to get into it more. You stop holding back. This guy, he starts playing. He doesn't need a microphone anymore. I'm going to walk out in the crowd. I'm going to be just as loud without a microphone. And so then he plays the guitar. And then Dottie and Daryl, come on. Who doesn't love what they do, right?
These guys are great.
So this guy at Double Roads goes to me. He goes, hey. And, he likes my guitar. And he goes, hey, you're good, but, man, that guy's smooth, ain't he? I said, yes, he is. That's Daryl, yes. And your band was great. I think LaChava was in a good mood that day. He didn't really...
he got fed before.
He got fed before.
Yes.
And
Well, there was free food, so he's always happy.
so he was in a good mood over that, right?
Yeah.
Mike, we love you. Just you need to read some of my books, okay?
Oh, Mike. Mike, I'm very open with Mike. I do not.
So am I.
Do not hold back with Mike.
So am I. Mike's a great musician. He takes a lot of stuff like I used to, a little too seriously.
Yeah.
And Apostoli, I tell you, that's the best I heard him sound. I've heard him before, and it's nice to see he's 24, dude. Can you remember that far back? Exactly, right. I was jumping out of planes wearing an Army uniform.
Right.
And,
24.
What did we know at 24, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what was I doing at 24. I was taking my son to kindergarten.
You had a son at 24? Yeah. They didn't have like birth control devices or anything back then, or
That was inconvenient.
it was.
Kevin's too potent.
Oh my God!
No, it was more like, your pill's on the wrong day. Oh, I haven't taken those for months. What?
That's Pez.
24, dude.
Yeah, when I was 24, my son was taking his entrance exam into kindergarten because he was 5.
Wow. I guess that high school musicianship really did work out for you, huh?
Yeah, it totally worked. But I wouldn't take it back ever. Having children is the absolute best, worst thing that will ever happen to you.
For years, I mentor students since 2008, and I was just blessed recently with my new books. I was speaking, and check this out. I was invited a few weeks ago, and I was lecturing on my books to blind, disabled students getting ready for high school. And let me tell you what a gift that was. They listened. I spoke about things. We talked about goal setting because, I'm an entrepreneur, and
Wait, they were blind, not deaf, right?
that's correct.
Okay,
So this is a funny joke with that too. I'm setting up the camera because I wanted to film it because I'm like, dude, how many times do I get this opportunity? So the guy comes with the cane. He knocks over my camera. He's blind. He goes, oh, sir, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. And I went, of course you didn't see it. You're blind, remember? And the room starts cracking up, right? And you got to do that, right? Because and from that point on, they were all relaxed. And we started talking about money. They wanted to know about crypto. 3 of them, after I was speaking, started, and they were able to tap into their phones. And they had this technology about starting businesses on referrals and doing it online. And I think the youth is not as bad as people think. The problem is they don't have more people talking to them because all they care about are those damn tests. Pass the test so we can get the funding.
Yeah.
They don't teach critical thinking anymore. How to balance a checkbook. What's a checkbook? I don't know what that is.
nobody-
And it's too bad. So as much as I can, I'd like to do more because they're hungry for this knowledge. I told you before we started the air, one of my favorite mentors was Carmen Yanata, 101 years old, World War II veteran. He died, I think, like 3 weeks ago. He's been on 2 of my podcasts, which, by the way, you guys have to come on my show. All right? We have to figure it out.
For sure.
And this guy loved life, man. What he went through in World War II, he was at the Battle of the Bulge, Normandy. His first day, a bomb goes off and he's knocked out for 3 days. He wakes up and his 2 best friends are dead. That was his first few days in World War II.
Ouch.
He goes through it, and then he winds up, I think, part of the second tour. He's getting ready to go home, and they go, we got one more assignment. He's like, oh, no, what is it now? He goes in and rescues Holocaust survivors at one of the camps. Shows me the pictures. Now, listen to this. This was late 45, so all the Germans were gone. They were no longer even in the camp. They were so Stockholm Syndrome, they could have left and walked home.
Oh, wow.
They were there. So when the GIs got there, they had to convince them for like a week that they were there to help them, that they were not part of the Gestapo. There's other stories I want to share, but what happened with Carmen is he said, God, if I get home safe, I'm going to have the best life in the world. I'm not going to complain about a damn thing. And look at that. He lived to be 101 years old. He didn't have a special diet. I don't even know if he drank. He lived every day with purpose. He was so great. And like I was telling you, I'm living like a cancer survivor. Every day that I get up and I'm healthy, how many friends have we lost the last few years, Hama? To accidents, suicide, COVID.
Too many.
Right. So what the hell are we doing wasting time on stupid shit?
Precisely.
So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'd like to share the message more if I can. But music, back to something more light, I think we should do more shows and have, multiple acts like we just did. That was
no
a great
question. We'll do that. We'll do that exact same lineup, and we'll do it at Terra Firmata. We'll do it on a Sunday afternoon because it's easiest to book Sunday afternoon.
Okay. Yes, because he's usually booked with the.
Yeah, he's got stuff going on.
Now Dottie's pretty busy. She might be working on a Sunday.
Well, we'll find a day that everybody's available.
Then put it out there far enough advance, right?
Yeah. Just ask
Why
for
not?
everybody's Sunday avails for the next 6 months.
Well, look, music is a universal language. People love music. I mean, you take that away, forget it.
Yeah.
People love to go out and hear good music.
Denny,
Live music.
do you have your own original music?
I do. I want to record. There's about 12 that I want to do, but I must have about 30 or 40 original songs. I'll tell you something. I have some recordings. I was so blessed. I was so full of myself. I didn't realize how lucky I was. Think about this. The rhythm section from Three Dog Night, the bass player, Joe Shermy, and Floyd Sneed, the drummer. We used to play in Los Angeles. They were my band. We'd go play places, and we would record at American Recording. And I'm thinking, no big deal, right? And we actually have some pretty decent recordings that I'm thinking about remaking, we had some ideas that we did. You know what's so funny? A lot of musicians say, hey, man, I'm a pro. I don't rehearse. That's not what I do. I go, oh, okay. Do you write music? No, I'm a pro. I'm like, well, dude, you're like that painter who says he's an artist, but he paints his houses for a living, right? Let me tell you, the guys from Three Dog Night, Iron Butterfly, all these major acts love to rehearse because they wanted to come up with different endings or do different. They weren't getting paid. We didn't get paid when we rehearsed. We wanted to get it right. And we would, back when I was, we would sit around and smoke dope and come up with like songs and go, hey, man, this would be a cool version. There's a version of Nowhere Man by the Beatles that I really want to release We did a version of it with the singers that Bonnie Raitt had in her album were singing backup, and Joe had recorded them. And he said, "Hey, I got a song I want you to do the vocals to, and play some guitar." I said, "Well, what is it?" And he played it for me. I went, "You've got to be effing kidding! I can't believe it's the same song." But that's the kind of shit we did. Like back then, yeah, I was a broke ass bitch, but I was playing the guitar like 8 hours a day, like clockwork. I mean, there was stuff I could do then that I think my body would say, "Yeah, dude, not today." But my knowledge of the guitar has greatly improved. So I may not be able to play as fast or as complex, but I think I'm a much better player than I was. I think I'm a better singer. I can't hit the high notes like I used to. But I would love to get with other musicians that kind of would like to do the same thing. Play different versions of covers, right? Which would blow people's minds. Like, hey, we're doing, you know what would be funny? And I don't want to do it. But an example would be like Mustang Sally in a version that they've never heard before, right?
Right.
And they'd start laughing like, that's not the same song. We used to do a lot of that shit. And I'll never forget that this jazz, it was in Boca Raton, Jazz Is, and I was the house band there. Who was that? David Sanborn, right? And I opened up for a lot of jazz cats. And this and $5 will get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks, like I said earlier. He came, I'll never forget, David Sanborn comes in and he wanted to do a sound check. So hey, I need some guys to play. So of course the house band, go Mr. Sanborn, absolutely. So we're playing and he's like digging and he goes, "Wow, that's great. Hey, let's do it again. Let's try it with a different ending and stuff." And I'm like, holy shit, this is a multi-Grammy award winning. Does it get much better than him on the saxophone, right?
Right.
And he's liking to jam and try different endings. And no, he's not getting paid.
Right. Because musicians, if you can't make music because you love to make music,
Yes.
then what's the point?
And that's where I am now. I pick and choose. I first of all, if you're a full-time musician, my hat's off to you. That is such a tough way to make a living. I think musicians should make more money, hands down.
No question.
Right? They should be respected. When they're playing in front of people, don't tell them to tune it down so you can hear each other whisper in each other's ear. They're playing their hearts out. So listen to them, Clap, tip them. They're not rich. But if you take that away, I think you can tell the musicians that are doing it for the money and those that are doing it because it keeps them burning inside. Listen, I'm nowhere near God's gift to music as a guitar player or singer. But you will see me get into it. That's all I ever ask whenever I see anybody playing music. Are they getting into it? Or are they just kind of going through the motions because they're making money?
Yeah.
And that's where I think most people are looking. Hey, I went to see this band, and man, there was only 20 people in the audience, and you'd swear there were 1,000. See, when I see a band like that, I'm like, yo, I want to go see them again. I don't care what it costs, right? But I understand. A lot of them play double gigs. They're playing 5 and 6 nights a week. Hey, Kevin, we're how old? 76 today, right? You think we can do 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week?
You're
Man,
how old?
I'll tell you. No, I'm not that old. But
I'm kidding.
This has been the busiest month of my entire life.
You are insane. You went to Daytona and you
Yes.
played for like what, 2 weeks straight?
By the end of March, 22 shows in 1 month.
They have
I feel like Mickey
have
Mouse with a 7 in 1 blow.
22 shows.
22 shows.
They have medication and therapy for shit like that. You know
Yes,
that,
and it's
right?
called 23rd show.
Well, how long were your sets? I mean,
I did one last Saturday. I did a single 1 hour.
Okay.
The rest was all 4-hour shows.
dude, and you're singing all the songs.
Every single one.
Yeah, people don't understand. It's so funny. They come up and go, "Oh man, you're not even working. You're just having fun." I'm go, "Really? Hey, I tell you what. Let me give you the microphone. I want you to sing 4 songs in a row without stopping,
Yeah.
and let me know how that feels." What are you talking about? I'm saying sing 4 songs in a row. Now multiply that times 10.
Yeah.
You think I'm just having fun and having a good time now? And that's the thing too. people don't understand. Musicians have it hard. They're not hiring you to do 1 hour shows or 2 hours. They want you to play for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and 3 hours luckily has become more common, and 6 to 9 has become more common than 9 to 1.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I just
but the thing that, because this whole singing thing is very recent for me, and you know, if you break your guitar into little pieces, you can just go to the store and get another one. But if you break your voice, like, you're sitting down and you're done.
you are done, right? You're like, you sound like a 1-900 sex trafficker operator. You can't sing like
What
that.
do those sound like, Danny?
Hi, what are you wearing?
Not that I would ever know.
What kind of guitar
mind
you got?
Oh, this is Peggy.
But it's true.
Sex trafficker operator makes
Yes.
me think of like an air traffic control,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for prostitutes.
Hi, please let that plane. Oh, right on that runway.
Tell him to go a little slower. She's coming soon.
So you know what's so funny? But that's a good point. That when you're singing the songs, that's a whole different amount of energy, man. If I'm just playing the guitar, no problem. But now I'm screaming and I'm going from, Sinatra to Led Zeppelin because I can and I'm stupid that way.
Well, and you're a multi-genre performer.
Yeah, that and $5 would get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right?
Also, just the fundamental fact that being a performer requires you to be on and be in front of
Exactly.
people and
Right.
carry a vibe.
Exactly.
That itself is a skill that not
That's
everybody
energy,
can
yeah.
have.
Right.
Lot of
And
energy.
think about it, Devin. You're right. You're there to entertain the crowd, right? You're not just sitting down and going, all right, I'm going to play me a couple of songs now.
Sing those 4 songs in a row and then keep talking to the crowd.
Right, exactly. And people like, oh, he's not even working. He's just having fun. Dottie Kelly, I love her. I said, Dottie, you are the James Brown of female singers. You're always working and traveling. People don't understand how hard you work. Daryl, same thing. When I saw Daryl, I said, all right, man, don't lie to me. How many hours sleep did you get last night? 3, 4, 4.5. But I'll sleep tonight. I'm like, Daryl, you better stop doing this shit to yourself. But honestly, I think if he stopped, he would probably die. He's like Keith Richards, right?
Right, yeah. As soon as you slow down and sit down, that's when you stiffen
I
up.
think that's what it is. But I'm telling you, man, I can't play as much as I used to. I had to stop because between, like he says, energy for music, well, I'm a public speaker and I'm dealing with clients. That requires a lot of energy. Now, think about this.
Oh, yeah.
Another point I want to make, there's a lot of anger in the world, right? That doesn't take much work. I mean, a baby that soils his diaper screams and growls, right? So
And a lot of adults who do that.
a lot of adults, right? Exactly. I don't want to mention any names, but it takes a lot of effort sometimes to be positive and overlook certain situations if that's what you're not used to. Once you get used to it, it gets a lot easier. And then it's really not that much work. Actually, the other shit is a lot of work, like getting angry or blowing your top. When you flip that switch, you're like, yeah, that doesn't work for me anymore. So what am I doing it for? I'm not going to do it. Where's it going to get me? Nowhere. And there's a lot of good music in South Florida, man. I think they now know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's Nashville, there's New York, there's LA. But man, I got to tell you, there is no other place like Florida where you have such an eclectic mix of great musicians, not just fly-by-night, weekend warriors, people that should be on tour or on the radio making a living doing music.
Well, homeless people like to live where it's warm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We did say a musician without a girlfriend is what?
Homeless.
Homeless,
Yeah.
right. But I feel bad because that's just how it is. Now, I want to set the record straight. I know a lot of musicians get angry because I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, I'm not on a salary. Nobody cares if I don't shave, shower, and go into my office. It's a business I run. Business owners have it tough too, man. They can't pay bands more money because if they're not ringing the register, they can't do it. That's why they tend to hire bands that have large followings, because that's the other thing musicians say, well, well, they got these bands and they're not that good. Yeah, well, they brought 200 people to the gig with them. And guess what matters to that owner right now? Who's struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah.
They brought a lot of drinkers.
They brought a lot of drink. Exactly.
If you were a cover band in a restaurant/bar or nightclub type thing, you're the only thing that determines your value to the person who's paying you is the Z out at the end of the night.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
some owners do care, and unfortunately, they've learned a hard way that they better focus on other things. Now, that's understanding business. Just like I used to do a lot of track shows because, I don't know, I got caught in that, well, I can make $300-400 and I can do all these different songs and the band doesn't have to learn. But I really don't do track shows anymore. And a lot of people got upset with me over it, but it's just an artistic reason why I don't. And a lot of musicians get mad at track artists. Well, they're stealing our gigs. Well, dude, you don't understand. That owner can only afford $300. They can't pay $600 or $700 unless you're bringing 100 people with you. And if they're paying $700 and the register is the same as Billy Bob with the microphone, guess what the owner's going to do?
Yeah.
So, Denny, let's talk. Can you come back next week? Let's talk a little bit more about this because I'm very fascinated about where you're going with the business, the circle of business, music, and the things that make things go around there. So let's come back next week because I'd love to talk a lot more about that since you have this business side of finance and you can partake, not partake, but
No, he doesn't do that anymore.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I don't partake, no. And I don't care if you guys do. Listen,
Impart.
I do
Thank
know,
you, Devin. Impart.
I do know musicians that make a good living, but they're specialized. That's why they do it. They're not just a cover band at local bars.
Right.
So if you want to know how to make more money, you're going to have to do something different.
Right. So your books, where can we find your books?
You can buy my books on Amazon, Ingram Spark, Barnes & Nobles. There's about 15, 20 global outlets. I had my publishing company put it out there. I have them when I do lecture, and
They're available in paperback?
yes. There's
audiobook?
only 2 that are available in hardback because The Power of Calm was the shortest read, and I thought that made sense. The way my style of writing is, I don't go into so many details of like, on my summer vacation when I was 16, Mary Lou said this to me, and I said, gee, Mary Lou, you get what I'm saying? I usually typically have a thesis, and I back it up by personal things that have happened, and it's a short read. I think most of them are like 80 pages, right? And then the Power Calm is less, and it's by design. I want, like my first book, I actually have 4 books. The first one was called Thoughts to Live By, and it was 17 chapters. And basically, my thesis was, if you master these topics and emotions, you have a better shot at being happy. And there were topics like death, shame, anger, criticism, a lot of things that we take for granted that if we
Mastering the ability to criticize, you mean?
Exactly, that's it. And let me tell you something that I found to be absolutely true. You will never be criticized by somebody doing more than you and is more successful than you. It's not in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's well put.
They applaud other people that are trying because they remember themselves when they were trying. It's only, well, I shouldn't speak in absolutes, but it's mostly people who are afraid to try and would like to see someone else fail. Me personally,
I have a whole platform on that exact thing.
I love to see other people succeed, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask them questions on how they did it so that I can do it myself.
Yeah.
You said learn,
absolutely.
right?
I can learn. Every
Right.
day I learn something. That's right.
As just like you know this, just like when you're a musician and you're the worst musician in the band, that's the ideal place
Which
to
has
be.
happened to me many times in my
Same
career.
here. It's the ideal place to be because you're always learning.
Absolutely.
And in life, that is true everywhere.
Yeah. One of the biggest learnings, I was in a 7-piece funk band. I was the only white dude in the band. And, technically.
Well, sort of white.
I'm Puerto Rican,
Ish.
Not really white. but
And I was a rock player, and I didn't know shit about R&B and rhythm. And man, they schooled me. Boy, you better practice, and you better we'd play the night, and they go, you better go and practice for the next night, or you ain't gonna be here. And I sure enough learned a lot. I thought I knew a lot. I didn't know shit about rhythm and R&B. I could play solos left and right, but my rhythm chops, forget it.
Cool. So we got we got so much more to dive into here, Denny.
I don't know how long
yeah.
we've gone, and
Yeah.
I will disavow any knowledge of what's transpired in this podcast today.
That's okay. You can find it on YouTube. It's all
that's
right
it.
here. You just watched it, so it's okay.
In perpetuity.
I'll be happy to come back and talk about politics and religion.
Oh,
Absolutely.
perfect. Well, good. Well, you're around the corner, so you don't have far to come back next week. So
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes. I'm beginning to like the neighborhood here.
yeah, that's great. It offers a lot.
So, musician, Army veteran, former lead singer for Iron Butterfly, author, public speaker, a financial expert.
Speaker.
What
Did you
else?
say speaker?
And
Singer,
and a student of life.
student of life. There we go.
Student
So we're
of
only up
life.
to 8 so far, so you got to come back.
Yep.
All right. I'll be back.
All right.
Awesome. So,
So
this has been the Riffs End.
Rhythms Podcast. I'm Paul Robertson.
And I'm Kevin McLaughlin.
So thanks, Denny, for stopping on by. And
Guys, you got to be on my show.
Yeah.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll
got
do
it.
it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
all right. So
Another one in the books.
yeah, cheers, everyone. See you next week.
time.